Hello, Internet. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do for this one. And that's, a lot of times when I do videos, I kind of go in there and I just kind of half-A it along the way and just kind of, again, you guys know me, that's what you've come to expect from my reviews. Is, I get in there, I come out, I say some silly stuff, I have an idea of what I want to say, but for this one, I don't really know what I want to say. But clearly I'm setting you up for something Compoform, right? Because we've got the Relic, we've got the Leafy Geica, we've got the Hydra, we've got the Woody Hydra, we've got the Mini Hydra, right? So we've got some Compoforms here with us. Oh, you know what? I meant to grab something before I got this started. We might have to play around, Internet. We'll get into kind of the review, and then for those of you that really like my style and want to stick around while I play around, we can do that. So can I get this all? But so the one that I got today is, let's just bring it out here. Da-da-da-da. I just realized I can't even remember the name of this. We'll have it in the title and in the comments. It's something with a V, and I keep wanting to think Velocity, and I'm 99% sure that's not right. But this is a really cool design. And I saw it and I was like, oh, it just looks too cool not to have. And it's actually pretty functional in a lot of ways. But the reason I'm kind of confused on what to say about this is I think I would kind of appreciate it more as just something to just kind of sit there and do that. Right? To just get it spinning slowly. Like, that's where it really looks cool. Right? Like, in person, you get a really cool effect with it. And that's kind of what's cool about it. However, as a spinner, it is very, surprisingly, actually very functional. I wasn't expecting to be quite as functional as it was. Let's take a look at the parts and the pieces here. Essentially, what you've got are relic buttons. I think they're just about the same size, too. Whoops. Almost. Stop bumping the camera. Almost the same size as relic buttons. Yeah, I don't have enough room to do what I want to do. I thought I'd maybe get them all on the stand and doing our little thing, but and then they're like pressed in or like crimped in against these big discs. And then yeah, you've essentially got the body of the spinner. Now the arms go one way, so you can actually switch this and have them going the same way as the buttons, essentially. And it does something a little different. And you can kind of just close it off. So I kind of find this is much more like what I would consider kinetic art. So I think a lot of people sort of, I don't want to say made the joke, but made the reference and maybe not taking it too seriously, where these are kind of called kinetic art, moving art, but this in particular kind of feels that way. Now, I don't know how original the design is. Obviously, it's pretty original in a spinner, but having, two overlapping patterns or reverse patterns that spin beyond each other and do this kind of weird optical illusion in real life. You've seen like wall clocks and other stuff that do a similar kind of thing, and I don't know how original this design is. And it might have been something that Ivan over Compoform, came up with, without being necessarily inspired by anything directly. But that doesn't mean there isn't something very similar out there. But it's the first time I think we've really seen it in a spinner. And it also gives us the opportunity, and this is kind of what I wanted to play around with in this video, was these buttons. And like getting a couple spacers, because essentially these are just giant buttons that with the right spacers, we could use on something like, like this. Because this is essentially something very similar to this style thing, or if we had the right spacers, even putting it on all kinds of weird, maybe I could get it to fit on this, So I did want to kind of play around with that, so maybe we'll try that. I also should say, hold the phone, look what I got. I got a set of snap ring pliers from Martin Truman, I believe. He had a bunch of sets of these. He saw me fussing around the last time, so he got me a set of these. So, now I don't have to look, all ghetto with my little, where'd I put them? I don't even know where they, oh, right here. You guys remember these, right? But now I've got like, real snap ring pliers. Whoops. Anyhow, we're not going to play around with that too much right now, because we don't really need to. So we talked about how this looks. And I kind of have hinted at the fact that it's a functional spinner. But why is that? What makes it kind of a functional spinner? Well, it's a cog style spinner. And the balance is actually really good. I don't know what it is about cogs. I expected them from a machining standpoint to be more often better balanced. And more often than not, they seem more unbalanced. So there must be something with machining a cog style, maybe having even more of that mass on the outside where the slightest bit of offset causes an issue. But it feels nice and smooth. It's got a really good gyro effect. Which I know a lot of people dig the gyro effect. But you just got a lot of good like teeth on the outside that you can just grab and you can spin. So it's kind of hard to do, like it doesn't really work. I shouldn't say, you know, it's not super functional like this. I mean, you can definitely get out there and do it, but this is definitely one where you just kind of grab and you pull on the top. Like that's the way you fidget with this. But what is really cool is there's just so much to hold on to. Like it's almost hard for me to hit the spinner to stop it. So I can kind of hold on to it and move it around a lot of different ways once I spin it. Get a lot of good gyro. I can kind of hold it on the outside. I can do Jack Hazard tricks. Look at me. Oh, he's amazing. He's so amazing. Oh, well, that's right. You can't, like, if you try to flip it. Yeah, I don't know if we can really. Maybe I can get a slow-mo video going here. Maybe we'll slow-mo that. I don't know if it will work. Maybe I'll cut. Maybe we can just cut and try and do it. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to cut right here, and we'll just add this video right in. We're going to do it slow-mo. I have no idea if that really worked. Yeah, so you can't, the gyro will prevent it from flipping. It wants to hold, so even though you've put the inertia on it, put it in motion, because of the spinning here, as soon as you let go, it stops that turning and stays wherever it is. So you can't like send it flipping while you do that. But, oh look, I'm Jack Hazard. What else, internet? Yeah, you know what I should have done? Since I was pausing the video anyway, I should have just stopped and grabbed try to see if I could find my spacers, but I know they're close by, so. All right, we're back. That was the intermission music. It was supposed to sort of sound like the intermission music from the Holy Grail, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which if you didn't know, I just saw something where apparently that's going to be coming to Netflix, the whole Monty Python's catalog. I don't know what you'd call it, but all their stuff is going to be allegedly coming to Netflix, which is pretty cool. So I've got a couple spacers here. I don't know if they're going to work, but they might. They might do the trick. Let's see what happens. We're still rubbing just a little bit. Just rubbing. But it's a pretty tall... Oh, the other thing's rubbing on it. This is actually too big of a spacer. That won't really work. Will this work then? The post is pretty tall, so... Well, that was a dumb way to do it, Tim. Let's do it like this. Don't be dumb. So the screw is actually pretty tall, although I think I'm off the thread a little bit there. And it rubs just a little bit, but yeah, that's either off the thread or the way it's lined up and pushing on that spacer. But the threads are pretty, like look how tall that is. There's a lot of threads to be had there. So I think playing around and getting the right spacers, you actually could have some fun with it. So I think they're kind of cool, you know, buttons even just to kind of play around with. So, oh, you know what? Where did we put it, internet? Where did I put it? I just reviewed it. For me, it was like just now. Where did I put the Nano? Where did I put the Axis Nano? I don't know. Well, let me pick up my spacers. It's so little, I can't even see it. It's probably like in frame. You're probably looking at it. telling me where it is. Telling me I'm dumb. Oh, there it is. I see it. It's way over here. I just wanted, just for giggles, just because we're going to be silly. Oh, that actually bumps because of how narrow it is. Because there isn't really much of a shoulder on these. Like you can't hit, oh, look what's in there. It's a trap. It's a trap. All right. I didn't think I'd really be able to spin it, but I felt the urge. I felt the urge. I felt the need for speed. So I don't know if I have anything else to say on this other than this is, it's just another cool piece for them, and it's one I really like. So I feel like I say this about a bunch of stuff, but if you've got like a desk at work or something like that, this is one where you can really kind of appreciate, you know, having something, oh, let's flip that around. Having something like that on your, you know, just on your desk to kind of look at. But even as like a functional spinner, just the fact that these essentially are such big buttons, I feel like you probably get something sort of similar to what it's like to have a pocket lure, which are super hard to get and in demand and going to be having a drop in a, boy, depending on when you saw this, it would be March 24th at 10 p.m. Eastern, I think. But I'm not going to have this uploaded before then. I'm 99% sure of that, so never mind. So chances are, if you got in on the drop and you got one, congrats. But I don't know. Just the fact that I can kind of hold it with so many fingers adds something actually really unique to it, and it looks badass. I bet this does some cool warping, too, in there. Once, like, warp time comes around, I bet that's going to look really cool. Oh, you know, even having it the opposite way, so that it actually covers it up. So as it warps, if you get the right warp and that warp actually stops right in the middle and looks like it just fills it in, I bet that would be rad. I bet that would be rad. So, can we recommend this? For me, this as much as it pains me to say it with Compoform, because I really want to give them like the giant thumbs up, I feel like this has got to be like a thumb and a half. I think it looks cool. I think just as a spinner is where it lacks a little bit in function, but this is much more of a form over a function, right? This is designed to look cool and do what it does, and for that I can't fault it. And it does have a lot of unique characteristics that makes it worth picking up. And I want to say it's around 120. So they're a little pricey, but the Compoform stuff has a very cool artisanal look, and I'm happy to pay an artist for their work at the end of the day. So I think you got to check this out. Gyro is like legit on this too, by the way. I don't know if it just has to do with being able to have like giant buttons that I can hold, but the gyro on this feels, the gyro is strong with this one. So the force is strong. So anywho, Internet, I think we're going to leave it at that. I think I'm going to give you some kisses, and I think I'm going to show this a close-up, and then I think I'm going to hit the stop record button, because I think, I'm not sure how long it was before I paused the video, so hope that slow motion action worked. So anyway, Internet, there you have it. Kisses.